Hey, it's Ellen Tyler, business and peak performance coach, and always understand that there's questions that follow anything that I've said before, and you always are curious to learn some more. So one of the questions that often comes up is, well, I know what to do. I've done this before, and I just seem to fall down. I don't finish, I don't complete. So one of the questions I always have is, are you a finisher? Like, do you finish what you start? And often there's a lot of things that we don't complete. And it's the asking of why that happens that starts to unlock it. We're not even aware why we don't. So I'll use this analogy. I always like to talk about things completely separate from work and business and all the serious things that we have to do and change. And I talk about drinking water. I was not a water drinker growing up. I actually only drank water to brush my teeth, so my mom pointed out, because I'm from the Midwest, you drink milk and Kool-Aid. So not drinking water was a component of my life. And when you go to run a marathon, you can't have that stay true, which, how do I change that then? I'm going to go from drinking no water to having to drink 160 ounces of water. Well, you do it a little bit at a time. And for me, it was, I had to get a glass that I understood how much ounces it held, and I knew how many I had to drink by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Was every day perfect? Absolutely not. But it was knowing that I'd probably pass out in the race if I didn't do this. So it's also understanding the consequence of not taking the action and putting it to work. We don't even know our paradigms are in control. It really is as simple as thinking about, okay, when I got out of bed this morning, and maybe I go to the gym every morning, but today I need to go to the grocery store. And I'm backing out of the driveway and I'm heading down the street, and all of a sudden it's like, crap, I wasn't supposed to turn here. I'm supposed to go a different way. Paradigms are habits. And so it's a fancy word to understand we have habits that aren't helping us. And it's not that we have to know how they got there. We sometimes just have to understand we accepted those habits and opinions of others, and they are the ones that are controlling our actions and our habits. So for example, you'll learn this about me. I like to tell stories. And when I was growing up going to school, English was not my favorite subject. By far not my favorite. And the paradigm was facilitated by the opinions of others, by the grades that I got on everything that I did with English. I get to college and I have an opportunity, because my roommate was in journalism, to go to England and major in journalism. I'm a nuclear medicine major. So you tell a 20-year-old you can go to England, okay, I'll go to England. And oh, by the way, you have to major in journalism. Okay, my worst subject, which is now my paradigm and my habit. I get to England, I go through school, I get all A's. And here's how crazy the paradigms can be. I discounted the fact that I got all A's because I couldn't accept, my paradigm was in control. I couldn't accept that it was that easy to get A's. And so I would say things like, oh, it was the first time that they were doing an exchange program. You know, they were being good to us. No, not really. Myself and my roommate, we were the only two people offered to stay at the school and finish our degree. And it was one of the toughest schools in London. Not until many years later could I accept that, because that paradigm had such a control over what I thought about my ability. So we have all sorts of things that are hiding in our mind that we don't realize is a habit. So let's do sales, because I came from a sales background, and if you ask individuals, they'd almost rather do public speaking than to have to sell and ask you to buy what they have. And so there's a lot of information out there, let's say it that way. There's a lot of information out there that will go, okay, Ellen, make 10 calls today, 10 calls tomorrow, 10 calls on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. What it hasn't addressed is, what do I think about a salesperson? When I was growing up, I was so embarrassed I couldn't even return something. I would make my mom do it. So if I don't understand that that's the underlying current, that's going on, I'm not going to understand. I get to Wednesday and I'm not making phone calls. And I'm finding every excuse in the world, your cell phone, anything else to not do that. And that's how the paradigm can just silently pull you off of where you want to get to without you even realizing it.